21 Rockstar families, it's so great to see you for our weekly VODCAST. A lot of announcements to get by and some great activities that you can use in the home to practice the different skills that we will be learning this week in class. So first of all, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out to the conferences this week. I really enjoyed the student-led portion and the great conversations we had about each of the Room 21 Rockstars. I really think we're all headed on a great path. I cannot wait for the second quarter. So thank you once again for coming out to the conferences this week. A couple of quick announcements. As you can see today, I have my neon green shirt on that Jack made for me for our glow-in-the-dark math. And the reason I have it on is because tomorrow is a glow-in-the-dark math day. So if you have any white or neon colors, you will be able to glow while you grow in your math fact skills if you wear something like that. It's not required, just to add to the fun. A couple of other quick announcements. Next Monday is our next Baird Academy Family Night for 2nd through 5th grade. I will be getting back to you with a time tomorrow, as well as a sheet that explains everything that will be going on that night. We'll be having a potluck and a bunch of great activities that will involve the entire family and things that we're currently learning in the classroom. So look for that informational flyer to be sent home this week. And finally, our Rockstar of this week, our Rockstar of the week for the week is Michael Hammond. Congratulations to Michael for his incredible greetings and his great confidence in class while he's working on different tasks. Now, I'm going to send you away to the activities for the week. For this week, a couple of the different activities, assignments that I have on here are actually for house points. So if you stay tuned, families, if you stay tuned, Rockstars, you will be able to hear what each of these activities is worth if you bring in the completed work for the activities I'm about to show you. So, as always, let me know. Are these helping? Are they not helping? Is it too much? Is it too little? Let me know. Have some fun learning together at home. Here you go. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar family, so I'm going to take you through each subject and a little preview of what we're learning this week and a review of things that we've learned last week. Now, last week we started to compare and order fractions with unlike denominators. Let me give you an example right now of what we were doing because we were encountering a very tough concept and doing very well with it, but it is going to take a little bit more practice so that we can fully master it. So, imagine that I had the fractions 2/5, 8/10, and 3/4. Now, at the beginning of the week, many of us were looking at these and just looking at the numerator, 2, 8, and 3, and ordering them like that. And what we realized this week was we can't do that because the denominators are different. So you're talking about different parts of the whole. The whole is divided into different parts for each fraction. So what we decided to do last week was actually use prime factorization to find the least common multiple. And let me show you what I mean by that. So we have 2/5, 8/10, and 3/4 right here. So we're prime factoring the denominator, which means breaking it down to its prime factorization. Two factors that are prime. They have no more than two factors that go into them. So let me show you here. The number 5 is prime because all that it goes into is 1 and 5. The only factors for 5 are 1 and 5, so it is prime. So what we did last week is we wrote LCM, which is the least common multiple, and then we would write 5. Now, we're starting to use the multiplication symbol as a dot rather than the x because we're getting close to algebra where x means variable. Now, I come over to my 10, so 5 was prime, didn't have to break it down. 10 is not prime because it has more factors than just 1 and 10, and I know that it can go 2 times 5 goes into it. Now, 2 is a prime number. The only factors that go into 2 are 1 and 2, and 5 is a prime number. The only factors that go into 5 are 1 and 5. Now, so the prime factorization of 10 is 2 times 5. So for my least common multiple, I take my 2 and I drop it down below. Now with the 5, I already have a 5 down here in my least common multiple, so I do not list it again. Okay, and then I come over to my 4 in my denominator for 3/4, and I prime factor 4, and the prime factorization of 4 is 2 times 2. 2 is prime, so I know these don't break down any further. Now, I look at my first 2, I already have 1 2 down here, so I do not bring it down again. I look at my second 2, I do not have another 2 down here, so I bring it down to my least common multiple. And then simply our next step is to multiply 5 times 2 times 2, or 5 times 2 squared. So 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. So my least common multiple is 20. Now, here's what we do with this. This is going to be used as our common denominator up above. And you might be saying to yourself, well, what does that mean? Let me show you right here. So, beside each of my fractions up above, I'm going to write 20 as my denominator. That means when I'm counting by 5, 10, and 20, the first number, the lowest number that is in common, that comes up in each of these would be 20. Now, I look at 2/5 and I ask myself, 5 times what would equal 20? 5 times 4 equals 20, so I have to multiply the top by the same thing. 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, I look at 8/10 and I ask myself, how many times does 10 go into 20? 2 times. 10 times 2 is 20. 8 times 2 is going to be 16. So I have 8 20ths, 16 20ths, and now 3/4. So I say 4 times what equals 20? 4 times 5 equals 20. So 3 times 5 equals 15. Now here's the key. Look at my 3 fractions in black right now. 8 20ths, 16 20ths, 15 20ths. Each of those now has a common denominator, and now I can order them from least to greatest or greatest to least. So, in ordering them, I look at 8, 16, and 15, just my numerator, and now I can realize that 2/5 is the least, 15 20ths is in the middle, it's second, and my greatest fraction right now is 8/10, which is this equivalent to 16 20ths. Okay, so this is what we've been practicing in class. Now this week we're going to be branching away from this and moving into decimals, and then looking by the end of the week at comparing fractions and decimals at the same time. Now, you can pause it on here and practice a few of these yourself, but for 4 house points, I'm going to put 2 problems down below this one that I'm asking you to put in order from least to greatest. If you bring those in, then you will get yourself 2 house points. Here they are. So number 1, you have to complete both of them and bring all of your work in. You have to order them from least to greatest with all your work. I need to see prime factorization. The first goes just like this. We have 3/10, 1/9, 4/7. Find the least common multiple and order them from least to greatest. And the second problem, each of these is worth 2 house points, 4 for both of them, will be 1 and 3/4. Think about what you need to do when you have a mixed number. Really, all you're looking at still is a fraction. You have 1 and 7/9, and you have 1 and 2/3. So order those from least to greatest, hit the paper in, and you can get yourself 4 house points. Now, here's what we're going to move on to next. I'm going to take you online and show you a very quick website that is also really great for practice, and it's called Mathnovox. And what it actually has is all of the topics we're covering right now in class: comparing fractions with the same denominator, greater than, less than, comparing fractions with different denominators, and it gives you some practice. This site is available at our Class Fusion page. Great study tool to use at home. Okay, now let me take you back. Now we're going to talk about reading. So this week, as you know, we're talking about summarizing strategies. This past week we learned the GIST strategy, and here are the 3 steps for GIST. Number 1, you write down 10 to 15 words that are of importance, that came up over and over while you were reading. Number 2, you just read that list of words when you're done. And number 3, you take those words and you create a summary, a couple sentences, using those words as a guide. Now, here is my advice to you at home, parents and students. After you're done reading your nightly reading each night, use this strategy, write it down. If you do that once this week, you can earn yourself 3 house points for writing down a GIST strategy using the strategy to find a summary of what you are reading. Now, a couple other things that I want you to take you to. Number one, we've been working a ton on writing descriptively. So, here is a task that I think you'll have a lot of fun with at home. So, as you can see right now on the screen, we have the picture. It's called Detached. It says, tell this story through the first person point of view, which remember means you're telling it using I, floating in space, over a red planet, and time is running out. Okay, so that will be, I'm not going to put house points on this, but this would be a really fun writing prompt to use at home, to work on descriptive writing, to work on writing in complete sentences, and maybe even some dialogue thrown in there. We're going to be continuing to practice that this week, especially with using our punctuation in our dialogue. So that would be really cool, rock stars, to use at home as well. Last but not least, I just want to take you to the Kate Waller-Barrett website, our Class Fusion page. And here, if you scroll down, you'll find our weekly vocabulary as always, but I also created a Quizlet for our weekly vocabulary and our suffixes this week. Okay, so the 10 words are there. This would be excellent to use. Remember, you can use the speller, the test, scatter, space race, or just simply the flashcards. But as always, it's a great way to practice studying those at home. So I hope that these strategies were great for you. And now back to the video. Okay, Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies helped you this week. As always, give me feedback on them. If they help, are they hurting? Are they too much? Are they too little? Let me know, and I would love to improve those for you so that you can get the most out of them. Have a wonderful week. I cannot wait for the upcoming week ahead with the Rockstars. As always, you are the best families in Stafford County. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you later.